Hi, welcome to my ingredients analysis and application demo of the brand new Kat Von D True Portrait Liquid to Powder Foundation. This foundation retails for $36 and Kat describes it as a lightweight, medium coverage, liquid to powder vegan foundation that sets to a long wear, airy matte finish that won't clog pores. It offers medium coverage, it has a matte finish, and it's made for normal, combination, and oily skin types. Well, I have a slightly little funny story about this foundation, which is that I received it a few days ago at the Sephora PR event here in Dubai. Kat Von D was represented there, and her makeup artist did a color match and gave me this foundation. This foundation was given to me without the expectation of a review or anything else, but it was gifted to me. Well, as you know, or you may know, I live in Dubai, but I'm from the USA, and so I just spent my entire summer back home in the US, and while I was there, I ordered this foundation off Sephora.com. But it arrived at my house after I had come back to Dubai. So ironically, it's being shipped to me and it's supposed to arrive today at my home here in Dubai. So I hope I like this foundation because I do have two of them. In today's video, we are going to do an ingredients analysis. We are going to take a deep look at what the ingredients are in this product and why they're in there and if there's any potentially harmful ones. We're also going to then try on the foundation. Now, because I have dry skin and this foundation seems that it's made more for somebody with oily skin, the makeup artist gave me a few different tips to use while I am putting on this formula. So today I'm going to put on the formula as is on half of my face, and then I'm going to use her tips on the other half of my face, and we'll see how they wear and how they feel. Now, the third thing we're going to do in today's video, because you know I love to always include some sort of tip or trick or life hack at the end of every video, is a way to find the perfect shade when you're purchasing a foundation online. This is the best video for this, and I love how these things just sometimes just happen perfectly. But I had bought the foundation online, and I was just expecting it to come here to Dubai. Well, when I went to the Sephora PR event, they shade matched me, and it turns out that I am shade light 004. Well, guess what shade I bought online was? It was light 004. And it's this little tool I use. I have not invented anything. It's a tool I use online, and it's always right. So today I'm going to share that with you at the end of this video, and it'll help to just cut out any confusion you may have when you're purchasing a foundation online. So before we get started, please make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and you hit that notification bell, because when you do, you are going to know whenever I release a new video. And I have just tons of new products that I can't wait to review for you. You don't want to miss any of them, because you'll really learn a lot about the ingredients that go into these products, and it's going to help you make better choices and be a more informed consumer. If you're not into the ingredients, don't worry about it. I've put timestamps down below, and you can skip right over the ingredients and to the foundation application part of this video. So let's get started with the ingredients. The first set of ingredients we're going to look at is the silicones. And silicones have a wonderful spreadable quality about them. They help the foundation just to glide smoothly onto the skin. They have a very silky texture to them, and they form a nice film on the skin. You'll see online a lot that the film is usually described as a lattice-like structure, and I always think of just this net over my face. And in this net, between all those little holes, oxygen can pass through as well as other nutrients. However, water cannot. So silicones help to decrease the transepidermal water loss. That is fantastic for someone like me who has such dry skin to begin with. I cannot afford to lose any of my precious hydration in my face. So I am a huge fan of silicones, and I was so excited to see that they are really just packed into this foundation. I do want to point out in particular, there's a really interesting ingredient, and it is the phenyl trimethicone, because with this formula, you have to shake it to sort of activate it, and this phenyl trimethicone silicone, it reduces the tendency of the foundation to foam up while you're shaking it. Now think of just shaking any sort of product that has a liquid in it. Usually we see some sort of a foam residue. That ingredient helps to prevent that in this product. And I think that is just so cool. Next up, we have the solvents. And solvents are substances that can dissolve other substances in a formula. The Isododecane helps to create the matte finish in this formula, and it also provides a very weightless feel. It's an emollient that has a lot of slip to it, so that means it's going to help the foundation just to glide very easily on the skin. Now, propylene carbonate helps to decrease the viscosity in the formula, and remember that viscosity is resistance to flow. So honey has a much higher viscosity than water, and that's why honey flows a lot more slowly. The propylene carbonate also helps to just keep an even distribution of all of the ingredients in the formula, so that when you apply it to your hand and you're looking at it, the formula is just very consistent. A few other ingredients in this formula are a suspending agent, which is the Stearalkonium Hectorite, and that helps to keep just the solids dispersed evenly in the liquids. There's also Dicaprylyl carbonate, and this is a very skin conditioning emollient that doesn't leave an oily residue on the skin. Finally, we have ethyl methoxycinnamate, and this is a UV absorber and a sunscreen active. We have two preservatives. We have BHT, which stands for butylated hydroxytoluene, and this is an antioxidant. There has been a lot of concern about this ingredient recently. I've just come across it in lots of different articles online. However, through evidence-based research, it has shown that this ingredient is fine in cosmetics because it's put in such a low amount. So I will link you to that study. It'll be down below in my description box. And if you are concerned about BHT, I encourage you to read it and to get a more well-rounded perspective on what this preservative does. Also, we have Phenoxyethanol, and that's in almost every single product I review. Lastly, we have three minerals, and the first mineral is talc. Now, if you are concerned about talc being in this formula, please don't be. Cosmetic grade talc does not contain asbestos. I know this has been in the news a lot lately. However, it has been cleared by the FDA. I will link that down below, and please take a look at it if you have any concerns. There's also iron oxide and titanium dioxide, and these are colorants. They do exactly what they sound like they're going to do. They add the color, the pigment to the formula, and they're opacifying agents. They help to make the product more opaque, less clear, less translucent. So those are the ingredients in this foundation. I hope you found it interesting. I have to say there aren't many emollients, and typically I am used to having just the very dewy type of foundations that are packed with ingredients like tocopherol, which is a skin smoothing antioxidant. It's vitamin E. However, that's not in this formula, as well as a few other of my favorite emollients, but we're still going to try out this foundation and see how it performs, because you never know. And if you enjoyed the ingredients portion of this video, please give me a thumbs up right now. It's nice to get some feedback, and as always, leave me a comment down below, and I am more than open to any sort of constructive criticism. I always strive to make my videos as good as I possibly can, and always even better. So let's jump into the application portion of this video. I am so excited to try this foundation on. So this foundation is in this very slim white box. This is such a departure from what I usually expect from Kat Von D. The fact that it's white and not black is already a huge difference. And I love how the tubing is just very slim. All along the tubing, she has different instructions. It does say directions for use. Ensure skin is hydrated, and that's because this is a formula that really is made for oily skin. It says to shake the foundation well and to squeeze to dispense a small drop and blend with brush or fingers. Tip: a little goes a long way. I was told by Kat's makeup artist to use my fingers when applying this product, not a beauty blender sponge, because the sponge will essentially absorb all the foundation into it. So now when I open it up and I'm looking at the foundation, I think it's just absolutely beautiful. It has such a unique look to it, and it does very much have that Kat Von D aesthetic. However, she really has changed it up by using this white pearlescent type of color, and she has put her name in this beautiful silver scroll. Now, it looks skinny and small, but this product does have 30 milliliters, 1 fluid ounce. Just to give you an idea, a comparison, the Beauty Blender Bounce Foundation also is 1 ounce, 30 milliliters, and I do have a review up of this product as well, as is the Perricone MD No Makeup Foundation. This one is also 30 milliliters, 1 fluid ounce, and I do have a review up of that. And this one, this is the Chanel Water Fresh Tint. So all of these packaging, all of these products have the same amount of foundation in them. They're just packaged differently. So that's just something I like to look out for whenever I'm just checking out a new product, is how much is in it, because packaging can be very deceiving. Now we are going to try this foundation on, but as you can tell, I have a full face of makeup on right now, and so far this entire video I have been wearing my favorite foundation, the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder Foundation. And just for a reference, this one is 40 milliliters, 1.4 ounces, so this does have more product in it. And I'm going to take off my foundation right now, put on my normal skincare as I would, and come back and we're going to try on the Kat Von D. I've now removed all of my makeup with the exception of my eye makeup, and I've washed my skin and reapplied my skincare, so my skin is now prepped in the way it would be before I apply a foundation. On the left side of my face, I am going to apply the Kat Von D True Portrait Foundation as is. I'm not going to put any sort of primer underneath my skin, and we're going to see what this formula is like on its own. Now, I was told by Kat Von D's makeup artist at the Sephora PR event I mentioned earlier that I could really hydrate my skin with a primer before applying the foundation to make it work a little bit better for my skin type. So I've decided to use the Josie Maran Argan Moonstone Drops Makeup Priming Oil on my skin first. This is a very lightweight priming oil. I just reviewed this. You can find the video linked below. And I'm going to put this on my face first, followed by the foundation. So we'll see if there's any difference between the two sides of my face and which one I like better, and how the foundation performs on its own and how it performs over a primer. So I was told to shake it really well before using it, and then to use only a very small amount on my hand. So, okay, it's very liquidy. It's almost like a serum on its own. So let me rub this together in my hands. This does feel incredibly lightweight and sheer, but it does have medium coverage. So let's see. I'm just going to press it into my hand as was recommended. Oh, okay, I can actually already see that this is going to have a very medium coverage. So here it is on my skin, and this is the side with the foundation. This side has nothing on it right now. So here's just a nice comparison so you can see what the foundation is like on its own. So now I'll put on my priming oil on my right side of my face, and I'm just going to use 2 drops. It doesn't need much. And let's see if this makes any sort of difference with the way that the foundation looks on my face. I'm just gonna add another 2 drops because I didn't put that much on. And I think I used 4 drops before when I did the left side of my face. So I wanna keep it as consistent as possible. Here's my face with the foundation on. And remember, this side has the primer underneath for that extra hydration, and this side doesn't. I am going to really let this just sink into my skin. I'm going to wear only this foundation. I'm not going to put anything else on top of my face because I really want to understand how this product performs on my skin. I'll check back in with you later on, and you can take a good look at my skin. And you remember, I'm always honest. So I'll just share my thoughts with you as to how this foundation works for me. Now, just looking at my skin right now, I think it does look pretty. I'm not used to wearing a matte foundation, so it's a little bit new for me, a bit uncharted. And I'm also used to applying a foundation with a Beauty Blender sponge. So it was just a little bit different to apply it with my fingers. But I want to let it just really settle into my skin, and time will tell what this foundation will look like. Remember, I'm always honest. I'm also very fair. So I'll just give you my honest feedback and thoughts as to how this product works for me. Now, in the meantime, I do want to share my shade finding hack with you. So you can find a cosmetic from anywhere. You can be in Nordstrom looking at foundations. You could be online on any website, but on Sephora's app, they have a wonderful shade finding mechanism. So you type in the foundation you're looking at. So for example, for today, I'm using the Kat Von D. So I am going to click on the True Portrait Foundation, and then I'm going to go down to where all the shades are, and they have this little button that says Shade Finder. So click on that, and then click Let's Get Started. And what this allows you to do is you go into the website, you go to the foundation you're looking at, but you put in your favorite foundation that is your best match. So for me, my best match is the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder Shade 1 Fair. This is just my skin tone. So I go to the shade finder, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the Charlotte Tilbury in the shade 1 Fair, and then that's going to tell me what my best shade is for the Kat Von D foundation. So I can select the shade that it's given me, and it brings me right back to the foundation with the closest match to my Charlotte Tilbury 1 Fair. So I can easily add that to the basket and go, and it just cuts out all that guesswork. Now, this is not by any means 100% accurate, and there are times I have looked at it and I thought to myself, my gut instinct is telling me it's a different shade, so I'll choose that one instead. But it is pretty accurate. So I personally just love this little tool on the Sephora app, and I use it all the time. Now I am going to go about my day, and I'll check back in with you in a few hours and give you my final thoughts on this foundation. We can see how it looks on my skin and if I would recommend it for you. It's been a while since I applied the foundation, and I wanted to get back to you with my thoughts on this product before the sun sets. Is getting very dark very quickly. So I just spent a little bit of time looking at my skin in the mirror, and I have to say, I love the way it looks. My skin still looks like skin, and the foundation was not cakey at all. It didn't feel heavy one bit. My skin still felt like it could really breathe with this formula. This formula is packed with the silicones, and a lot of those silicones are very flexible silicones, and I really felt like the foundation moved with me as I was talking and just going about my day. I never once felt that stiff, thick feeling that you can get sometimes from foundations. This just felt very light and very airy. Now I have to say, looking at my fine lines, nothing built up in them, and the foundation just has performed really nicely on my skin. I am 36 years old, and I am entering that mature skin type of category, but this foundation has been really gentle with my fine lines and even a few emerging crow's feet that I have. Now, as you know, I put the Josie Maran Makeup Priming Oil on the right side of my face underneath this foundation. And on the left side of my face, I did not put any type of primer. I put the foundation just directly onto my skin. I will say that the left side of my face does feel a bit tight. And that's because I do have dry skin, and I really do need that extra hydration, that extra boost of moisture. So I do prefer my right side of my face with the primer. It did make a difference, and I just don't feel conscious at all of any sort of tight feeling on my cheek. Whereas on my left side, I can feel a little bit of that tightness right now. But to be fair, it's only a little bit. Overall, I really like this foundation. I think the price is very fair, and I love the packaging. I love the aesthetic. It has wonderful ingredients inside of it, and I have to say I'm very impressed. I do not mind the fact that I have two of them, and I'm sure I'm going to use both products up and just really enjoy this foundation on my face. So if you do have oily skin and if you have dry skin, I think this foundation really can work for everybody. And just remember to use your fingers when you apply it, because it is very watery in texture, and a little bit goes a very long way. And if you have dry skin, make sure to put a very hydrating primer underneath. But overall, this is a great product, and I'm just so pleased that I have it. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. Subscribe now to Lauren O'Connell Beauty TV, and let's navigate together through the world of beauty.